if you've been with us, you've seen the bus.
The whim of a madman. I like that.
Ah, boy. Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy. What's up, Joe Boo, as well as Bucky Beaver. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. This is a big week, actually, for the Dallas Cowboys. This is, you know, when you get to training camp, you get hitting your own guys, and you actually start to learn your team's players, their tendencies and things like that, and how to work with them. And it begins to get monotonous. You end up getting, sometimes, a little testy and wanting to fight and everything else. And you need something different. This week is something different, and that is starting tomorrow, practicing with the Rams. In past years, it's been very, very spirited and so on. Matthew Stafford, who's dealing with back issues, will not be practicing and playing. Of course, Saturday, Dak Prescott will not be playing either. Now, what I want you to take in this is, because your starters typically do not play in preseason, this is the preseason. This is the only real legitimate work, typically, that your quarterback and your starters really get. This is the only live fire work that they really get before the season starts. And it's still crazy to me, the kinder, gentler NFL that does not tackle, does not touch the quarterback. The last time Dak Prescott was tackled, I want you to think about this for a second. The last time Dak Prescott was hit was in the game that he messed up his leg, that his hamstring tore. That's it. No quarterback has been hit since last season. And to go into a season not being hit, not being able to test it, not getting calloused body parts is insane. It just is. But that's the way it is. And this is where Dak Prescott last Friday was actually racing against CeeDee Lamb. He is beginning to really test his leg and really trying to put it out there to make sure that it's going to be in shape as we go forward. Now, let's be clear here. Everything has been taken over by Jerry versus Micah. Micah Parsons is going toe for toe with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has money on his side, has the contract on his side, and is at a point in his life where he gives no F's about you or your feelings. He's looking at it. I fired Jimmy Johnson after winning 2 Super Bowls. Do you think that I won't do something if I deem it necessary? Let's be clear here. The Amari Cooper situation, I don't know that it was bad negotiations, more of, you know what, he pissed me the hell off. I'm sending him to Siberia, and I don't care what it costs because I'm that dude. So we'll see where this goes, but I have to say, Jerry Jones seems to be enjoying this situation, and Jerry Jones is adamant that we had a deal and that Micah Parsons reneged on it. And in his mind, that's the way he feels. Now, I can't tell you if that's just because he's an old man who is literally there on his lawn saying, get off my lawn, where he honestly believes, because maybe he's got a little taste of dementia in there, that Micah Parsons, tried to pull the wool over his eyes, and everybody is scared to say something to him because he's still Jerry Jones, the same guy that said to 105.3 The Fan, I believe it was, that I do not expect people I write checks for to question what I say.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Yeah. So I don't know that Micah Parsons wins that battle. I can see Jerry Jones just saying, you know what? He ain't getting another contract. Screw it. He going to play on this contract that we got right here. this $24 million contract we got right here, and we'll franchise tag. Because it's not like they don't use the franchise tag, people. They probably used the franchise tag more, at least in recent history, than anybody. Dak, once, they tried a second time. D-Law, Dalton Schultz, Tony Pollard. I'm not going to say that that would be the smart move to do because I don't think it is. I think the better thing to give you flexibility, because you're not dealing with hard numbers, is to get a deal done for Micah Parsons now. That would be the wise move. But then again, we're talking about a rich guy. Now, Jerry says, don't lose sleep over this. Well, Michael Irvin has a little different take on this one. Shout out to Holly Pierce, okay? Holly Pierce, who went toe for toe with Leo yesterday. Shout out to Holly.
Hey, locker room, what's up? Being in Oxnard and seeing Coach, and then as soon as I landed here, everybody was talking about and Jerry and things Jerry said, and Jerry said to the fan base, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. I just wish that rhetoric would stop, man. I mean, I really do. And Michael asked it. I know he's not going to stop it. I know Jerry's a great businessman. When you can turn $140 million into $10, $12 billion, nobody's questioning your business prowess. You're a great businessman. But sometimes right here, the emotions of this kind of situation, I just don't think us fans are really ready to handle. Jerry, yes, and I understand it all comes in a box. And you think about it in the box, the Dallas Cowboys box. But let's think about it from the Dallas Cowboy fan box. We've already been torn the hell up this year.
You ain't lying.
We've been torn the hell up when they got rid of Luka. And now this whole thing about Micah really makes everybody uneasy. So I don't want to hear let's not lose any sleep. We're going to lose sleep.
Yeah, that is the truth.
Stop fucking around and get this done. We're going to lose sleep about Micah. Can you imagine we must be the laughing stock of America.
Yeah.
To lose a Luka and now to be messing around with a Micah like this, I don't think any city in the history of sports can say that happened to them. In the history of sports. Well, let me not go too far here. Well, no, I do believe nobody will say that because, let me just give you what came to my mind. What came to my mind, even though they're not apples to apples, is Houston right around the corner. They lost James Harden and Deshaun Watson. But that's different. That's different. And all of those situations were different. These guys over here, James and Deshaun, was, well, we don't have to rehash that stuff, But Luka and Micah, it's a whole different beast. And I just don't like the Jerry double downs on that part. And right after Micah said, let's just hold down with all the rhetoric and try to get something, do something, he comes right back. So yeah, that's sad. That's sad. I want to see what happens now.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens now because what I'm seeing is exactly what I was worried about. Everybody keeps running their mouth and backing everybody into a corner. I know, Jerry. I know you're strong, and I know sometimes I feel like you're fighting with the media at the expense of the player. You're trying to show the media at the expense of the player. I just hope
cooler heads will prevail.
We don't become the laughing stock.
Oh, it's too late for that, Mike. Mike. It's too late for that. Now, no practice yesterday, and there were no shots fired really yesterday. We didn't hear, other than we heard that, if he became available, he wouldn't mind going to Pittsburgh. That's the only thing that I could find yesterday. Jerry Jones, I didn't hear anything new, other than what we had, of course, before. We'll see today when they get back out on the field. Is there a change in tone? Was there actually some conversation that's going on? We'll find out a little bit more today, especially as they begin the process of getting towards the Rams. I believe, honestly, in the end, like we've constantly gone, because, see, people don't remember that we were this time last year talking about Dak Prescott was going to play on the last year of his deal and walk, and we were talking about destinations for Dak Prescott. We were talking about CeeDee Lamb being forced to play on his fifth-year option, and that he was going to be pissed off and so on as well. And, of course, at the last minute, after our emotions have been tricked over and over and over again, and that the blood seemed to be poisoned, and Jerry Jones is literally saying things, I'm not in a hurry. I don't feel any pressure. We keep falling for the same stuff over and over again from Jerry. And it's just a matter of time. And actually, I guess it's a matter of everybody gets fed because of Jerry Jones's snapping of his fingers. Everybody is getting clicks. Everybody is having a conversation, or it seemed like we were ready to go to a fist fight yesterday because the fans, after beginning to feel good again about the Dallas Cowboys and the prospect of maybe the season won't be as bad as we thought. Here's where you kind of wonder, where Vegas had the Cowboys over and under at 7.5 games. If you asked a week ago, which side you would take on the over and under, as a Cowboy fan, you're saying, oh, we're going to win more than 7.5 games. Oh, hell. You know what? We're seeing decent things on the, from the team, the players and stuff. We're seeing Donovan Easy coming out the box playing well. Kyle Elam is looking really good and seemingly renewed out there with the Cowboys, and you're feeling better about it. Tyler Booker is being like a road grader, and you would say, oh, man, we definitely going to win more than 7.5 games, man. We got a chance to make the playoffs and stuff, right? But after the Jerry Jones situation here, and this week, you might be looking at this and saying, that under is looking a little bit better than it did a week ago. And that's literally the power that Jerry Jones wields when it comes to playing with our emotions and the media. Everybody is kowtowing to Jerry Jones's words. And I dare say, Micah Parsons, he doesn't look happy, and he probably doesn't like being raked under the coals, but he will benefit from it as well. If he were to do a podcast right now, you don't think that thing would blow up? Yeah. It's all about the media. It's all about the clicks. And whatever you have to do to get people to watch these days is what people do. So, as I said, every show today will lead with the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, and Micah Parsons.
This is so stupid. What are we doing?
What are we
doing?
doing?
This is ridiculous. Adam Schefter came on our show and said Jerry Jones is P.T. Barnum, right? Mm-hmm. The circus. Well, the circus doesn't have one act. It has countless acts. So this weekend alone, Jerry Jones has added Micah Parsons, Des Bryant, and Jay-Z to the circus somehow because all of the characters are now involved in this. Yes, Micah.
Sprinkle in a little Nicki Minaj, too.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
Sprinkle that in there.
Anybody else? I mean, doesn't this... No, well, I'm glad you said that. Doesn't this actually make you think that Jerry Jones is a genius?
No.
An evil genius.
Nope.
That backfired on you.
Not at all.
Why?
Because he's spending millions of dollars more per year by negotiating this way.
How much does Jay-Z's involvement into a story cost? For those who are unaware,
Nothing.
Jerry Jones just started saying things, recalled negotiations between
And
Jay-Z
got him
and Des
responding.
Bryant. It was recalled so incorrectly that Rock Nation felt the need to release the statement where now Jay-Z and Des Bryant, if you're hiring Jay-Z to get involved in anything, that's millions of dollars in itself. To get out of bed, it's going to cost $5 million for Jay-Z.
He's got a
But
great
all you're
point.
talking about is publicity. All you're talking
Yes.
about is impressions, the overall valuation. You're not talking about winning Super Bowls. You're not talking about repairing this specific relationship with the best player on your football team. You're not talking about cooler heads prevailing and these two parties coming to the table to negotiate a deal so that it's not a distraction for the other guys in that locker room who are there to work, who are there to sacrifice their bodies in order to win a championship, or at least attempt to win a championship. What you're talking about is the circus. So if that is the win, then yeah, I guess he's a genius. But if I'm somebody else that's trying to go out there and my ultimate goal is to win a championship, I don't think this is a win. Matter of fact, I think it's a big fat L that Micah Parsons wants out. Or at least that he's saying publicly that he wants out, because we have not seen a star player from the Dallas Cowboys take this route. Normally, they say, yeah, you know what? Jerry's going to take his shots. Ultimately, he's going to pay me.
I
I'm going
believe
to be
D-Law
annoyed by the
did.
process. I'm going to get my bag, and I'm going to get to play here, which is the biggest brand in all of sports. And the fact that Micah Parsons is taking this stance, good for him. I'm glad somebody's fed up with this, because I'm fed up talking about it. It's insane. It's insane that we let him do this year in and year out, that it's the same formula and the same results, and we give them the same credit when they win nothing. They win nothing.
Smalls, I owe you an apology, because when you threw it out there that one of these players, one of these days was going to get fed up and ask out, I said, no, it's probably not going to go down like that, just because of how important the Dallas Cowboys brand is to the National Football League and sports entertainment overall. Guys understand the value of being associated with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's
All
exactly
you
what I
got to do
was
is look at
talking
Roger
with Eugene
Staubach,
last
Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. Look at what they're doing now in their lives. Look at Tony Romo and what he's doing in his life. Look at Marcus Spears and what he's doing in his life. All of those former Cowboys do well.
Yep.
And so I thought that Micah Parsons, in the sphere that he operates in, not just on the field, but off the field with his podcast, his media endeavors, would want to be linked to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. I did not think he would take this approach and decide that he wanted out. What I'm trying to figure out now is, based on how things have unfolded this weekend, is this Micah Parsons negotiating with
That's
Jerry
exactly
Jones?
what it
or
is.
is this Micah Parsons being fed up with the circus-like atmosphere, understanding that it's going to lead to more of the same, which is the Dallas Cowboys?
See, here's what I'm going to tell you right here is what you think you can do is that you can shame Jerry Jones and put him in a back light where he's going to change because he doesn't want the bad publicity. And unfortunately, he just feeds on it. He is like the Emperor Palatine. He loves the dark side, okay? Give me your hate, oh boy. That is exactly what it is. In fact, I need to talk to Tracy about making Jerry Jones the Emperor from Star Wars. He lives for negativity and all of your pain, your anger. He feeds off of it. Look at him. He looks like he's younger. He's excited. You know, I had a deal with him. You know, that's when negotiations started. He's up there. That's the sword that Jerry's going to fall on, but he ain't falling on a sword.
Was routinely underachieving. I think there's clearly a difference there, and based on where Micah's head is at is going to determine the outcome. If it's the former, then this all ends the way that we expect, which is Jerry Jones making Micah the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. If it's the latter, then I could see a scenario where the player and the ownership are dug in on their respective camps, and this leads to an ultimate divorce this season.
I think this is all trending towards the first option you gave there, because that's what's happened every time with every player, and that's what the circus is. That's what the P.T. Barnum, as Adam Schefter said. You really think Micah Parsons is not going to – they're going to ultimately offer him a contract to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the sport. Is he not going to sign it because they didn't sign him yet?
Well, look, that's great. I like that you're going there, and I hate to answer a question with a question.
Go for it.
Even if they make him the highest paid non-quarterback, it's an uphill climb for the Dallas Cowboys to compete for their division title, let alone win a championship.
Okay, so here's the difference that we're operating under, the three of us. On one side of the table would be the two of you, okay? Which is fine. You guys are treating the Dallas Cowboys like the other 31 teams in the league, where the goal every year is to find a way to get the best players on the best deals with the best people to win the Super Bowl. I'm looking at it as the Dallas Cowboys have 365 chances every year to win a Super Bowl, and they've won the Super Bowl the last 3 days, and they're going to win the Super Bowl every single day up until the start of the season, which is us talking about them constantly. This is an amazing spin here. And this Jerry sound we're going to play coming up, which even adds to all of this. Smalls, you can hate it, and you're right to hate it. But you're looking at it as if the goal is to win football games. I'm looking at it as increasing franchise valuation.
Right. But here's the question, though. What's the goal for Micah Parsons?
Bingo.
Is the goal for Micah Parsons to win championships, or is the goal for Micah Parsons to be as relevant as possible?
I guess I'll have to ask his bosses at Bleacher Report, where his podcast lives.
Well, see, that's
but I'm serious. Like I
feel what you're saying, but when we start coming back to this and say, oh, well, yeah, Jerry's going to make him the highest paid non-quarterback. Yeah. So are the other 31 teams in the NFL.
Exactly.
So when it comes to the money aspect of the conversation, it is irrelevant. He's going to get paid no matter where he plays. The question is, does he want to continue to play in Dallas with the owner routinely taking shots at him as a negotiating ploy? I don't know where that lands. I don't know how, as a player, when you're in it, you don't take it extremely personal because everybody wants to say business, it's just business. Well, guess what? I take my business very personal. I take my money very personal. And I'm not sure that Micah Parsons is easily going to brush away everything that's happened over the last several months as Jerry Jones has been trying to navigate.
All right, I'm going to leave it right there. You know what? Money talks, BS walks. The reality is yes, Micah Parsons could go elsewhere and get a contract, probably the same amount of money that we're talking about here. You know, without a doubt, he could probably do that. But there's some benefits to being there with the Dallas Cowboys that you're not going to get elsewhere. Basically, the fact that this is something that I learned last night, Eugene Monroe let me know is, when you play a game against the Giants, you're paying the taxes in New York. When you play a game in Los Angeles, you're paying the taxes, state taxes, in there. Well, since you've got 9 games in Dallas, you're not paying those state income taxes. So you're getting more money. You're being able to hold on to more of your money just because you're in Dallas. And when you're in Dallas, you are going to get more publicity to build your brand for life after football. And this is the thing. Yes, it's great to make all this money right now and to chase the Super Bowl. But when you're talking about being able to have a career beyond my ability to play football, that has to weigh into the equation. And clearly, Micah Parsons is not going to get that same thing if he goes to Denver. He's not. It just isn't. We'll watch today and see what happens. Today we'll be back to practice and back on the field, and we'll see what's what and who's who. As always, I appreciate you guys, but I got to go get to work. I got to get out of here.
I can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself.